What is up, guys? I'm not sure if this microphone actually works, but I'll find out once I watch this video back. But anyway, I'll still be able to hear myself, talk, but I don't think it does. The light is not on, but it is connected. Maybe it doesn't work. Anyway, the audio should still play, but it just won't have the same volume, or it won't have the same quality or whatever. But anyway, this is a video talking about America and this idea that America is the greatest country in the world. Now, I don't know if this video is going to be able to stay up. I don't know all the rules on YouTube. I'm not sure. However, I will say that this idea that America is the greatest country in the world I'm just going to say it. This might not be allowed, but it's extremely ridiculous. Once you realize the core of what America is and what America is all about, and then you compare it to certain things that go on in certain other countries. Now, I think when people say this, a lot of those people don't have a lot of knowledge or understanding on how certain things work in other countries. And they basically say it out of loyalty and patriotism more so than actual real knowledge and real logic. It is more patriotic and loyalty based than it is logical, okay? When you look at some countries and you look at the way it works as far as medical medical bills, medical care, going to school, college, all these different systems that are in place. And like I said, there are some countries where these systems are very, very, very superior over the way our American systems work, because the core of what America is, I'm gonna tell you what it is. The only purpose in America is to suck as much money out of somebody that you possibly can. That is the whole core of it. That is the whole purpose of it. When you look at some of the size of these student loans, when you look at some of the size of these medical bills that people have, when you look at the size of these mortgages that people have, and I'm talking about people who live in regular average houses, 2-3 bedroom house in a regular area, you look at how much they have to pay just to get that house. You look at how much it is just to get simple car loans. It is outlandish and it is absolutely ridiculous. Because when you look at certain other countries, it's like a paradise. Like, for example, the Dubai, they don't have a homeless population. They don't have crime. I'm not going to say there's zero crime that ever happened over there, but I'm saying the crime rate is so extremely low over there. It's considered a very safe place. And I know Dubai is like an exceptional place. Most places are not even close to that. But they're still a country. And there's still other countries, and you can even use examples from like some Asian countries. When you look at the way they handle college, for example, some places you barely pay much for college tuition. You don't have these student loans that are over $100,000 or more. You see that here in America. You go to the hospital, you do procedures, you get massive, extremely high bills if you have medical conditions. You may have medical insurance. They may take taxes out of your check, Medicare taxes out of your check. You still get these massive bills. The purpose in America is strictly money. Suck all the money out of you. How are you supposed to even have a good chance as an average individual if you go to college and get a student loan, and then you get a mortgage, and then you need a vehicle, so you get a car loan? How does this even make sense? You get a job where you make $60,000, $70,000 a year. That doesn't cut it. That doesn't cut it in America. And how can you say this is the greatest country in the world when you look at some of these homeless people? Like in certain parts of California, the homeless population is just extremely, extremely high. When you look at how much medical bills people have to pay after doing certain procedures, look at different countries when it comes to how they handle medical healthcare. You can go to some countries and have a serious treatment. They'll take care of you. You go home, you owe absolutely nothing because it's government covered. America, not necessarily the case. You get massive, massive bills for just about anything you do. And You want to get a simple house for your family? Right now, the mortgages are extremely high. I mean, extremely high. And, all these systems are just designed to suck all the money out of you. America is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place if you are part of the rich and you are the beneficiary to these financial systems. If you are an investor and you own a lot of homes and you're selling homes or you're renting homes to people, America might be a wonderful place for you. If you are with a bank and you have a high position in a bank, America might be a wonderful place for you. But for the vast majority of people who don't have these type of titles in these positions, America can be a really terrible place. And like I said, I may get in trouble for saying this. I don't know if I'm even allowed to say this stuff. I know YouTube has different rules and stuff. There's so many things you can't really say. And I'm going to learn one way or another. Now, this channel's not monetized. These videos don't get a lot of views. Maybe for that reason, I may not have any issues, but America is just, there's too many problems here, and most of it is strictly financial. Strictly financial. I'm seeing stories about certain countries where they don't have a homeless population. If they do, it's very, very, very slim because they have systems that pick you up and get you back on your feet because they really don't want homeless people out there. So they help you, they kind of rescue you. Here in America, that's not the case. America is it's a very simple, if you don't have the money, we got nothing for you. Now, I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, well, you're wrong. There's homeless shelters. There's government programs that help support people who are struggling financially. There's food stamp programs. There's welfare programs. Yes, there is. But we also have credit scores. We also have evictions. And once you deal with financial hardship for a short time period, let's say you lose your home, you're not getting approved for that next one. So it's almost like you better have somebody close to you that can let you stay with them. Otherwise, you have very little, if any, chance at all at even getting a home. So there's a lot of people that are just stuck in this homeless system. And it's easy for people like us to say, oh, it's their fault. It's not that, it doesn't have to be that way and this and that. We have a house, so we feel good about it. But there are people that I know for sure have faced an unfortunate circumstance, and it turned out to be a financially detrimental circumstance based on their lack of ability to go to work or something along those lines. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, pull your bootstraps up and this blah, blah. That stuff is getting old. It doesn't work. Today's society is so different. There's so many jobs that have been lost. There's just so many financial problems. You can literally get 2 full-time jobs that pay $20 or more an hour and still be very short on making enough money to get a half-decent home in a half-decent area. That is what the American system has become. And I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry for saying this. With these systems we have in place, there is no way you can sit here and say America's the greatest country in the world. That is extremely far-fetched at this point. When you compare some of the systems that we have compared to some of the other systems. The tax system and the Medicare system are 2 very good examples. Another good example is our college system. When you compare this to some of these other places and how you get into school in some of these other places, how they take care of you medically without charging you massive bills, and how they lack a homeless population, like I said, in certain countries. I'm sure some people are going to say, well, there's third world countries, and yes, America is greater than a lot of countries. I'm telling you that with the systems we have in place, there is just no way you can sit here and tell me this is the greatest country in the world when there's countries out there that are way safer. There's countries out there that are way better as far as medical treatment, as far as, how you get charged for Medicare, medical treatment, how the college system works as far as getting into college and owing money. America is not very good in that. And as far as education and efficiency, we're not even the greatest country there. We have one of the highest incarceration ratios in the entire world. there is no way this country is the greatest country in the world. Now, like I said, I know a lot of people are not going to like this message, and I know the video might get in trouble. I'm not sure. It may not get in trouble because it may not get a lot of views. In fact, I don't expect it to, because I know that some people don't want to hear this. It's not, people are looking for somebody to tell them what they want to hear. This is not what a lot of people are going to want to hear. A lot of people are not going to click on this based on the title. So I'm pretty sure this video will barely get any views. In probably a 6-month ratio, it may not even hit 100 views. I mean, this is not a subject that a lot of people want to hear, but I'm telling you, if you educate yourself on how certain other countries work, their systems, what they do about certain problems like Medicare, taxes, I didn't mean to say taxes, but, as far as housing, medical care, that type of stuff, you will realize there is no way on earth that this is the greatest country in the world. There's just no way. When you compare it to certain other countries, I'm going to do another follow-up video with research and statistics just to give you a pretty good example. Even though I'm going to do it anyway, even though I know a lot of people probably ain't going to want to watch it. It's not going to be popular. Nobody wants to hear it, but this country's not nearly as great as you think it is. It is for certain people, a very small, minute population of the people. It feels like a wonderful paradise, but for the rest of the people, it is just a whole lot of struggle and a whole lot of problems.